Tafresh Nun Aleph. The Maisa, this siman is a number of malachas in one siman. Usually, let's say you have for the malacha bayrer, there's a complete siman. Schita is a complete siman. Bishul is a complete siman. Haitzah. This siman has within it a number of malachas, smaller malachas, and they fit into one siman. Every 3-4 sifim is a new malacha with lamites malachas. Now, we know that you're not allowed to cut on Shabbos. What's the issur of cutting? So here we're going to learn, it's not, there is kireya cutting, and then there's Gozez. Gozez is shearing.
And tolesh.
Yeah. So Sif Aleph, ha-Gozez, someone who shears wool or hair, beim min achai, beim min ames, whether it's from the alive animal, or whether it's from the mace, a live person, whether it's from a mace, beim min behema, beim min achaya, afil min ha'oyer mushad, even if the skin is removed, chayev. One is chayev, v'hu me'avas malachis, shekei mishkan yegoiz oides hatchashim va'ilim. In the Mishkan, they used to shear the hair off of the skins of the tachash, which was an animal that was in the midbar, and of the rams, and they would use that for the Mishkan, for the coverings in the Mishkan, for the pareiches, for different things in the Mishkan.
We don't have tachash now.
No, we don't have the tachash.
But elim we have.
We have the elim, yeah. So this is not only this is hair or wool. Like for us, say someone taking the scissors and cutting one's nail, or cutting one's nails or one's hair, it's an issur of Gozez. That's what it's called. The issue is that was one of the malachas done in the Mishkan, and you're not allowed to cut nails, hair, anything which is attached to a skin. To the skin.
When you do Shabbos like this, sometimes coming out is Gozez.
If you use your hands, by the way, it's not min haTorah asur.
You're not toilet, you're not pulling, but you go like this. Sometimes it's
okay. So that you're not having kavana, but if someone did do it, he did pull out, it'd be toilish and it'd be issur d'rabbanan because he didn't use the keli. I'm going to say right now, abel hatoilish semer biyadei, someone who pulls the hair with his hand, bein min behema, from the animal, or from the skin, even after the skin is off the animal is the problem. Potter she'ein derech baziza bakach. It's not the way how one does geziza. One normally does it with scissors or a shearing tool. If one is not doing it the normal way, it's ein darkei bakach. V'chein ha'noitel sayrei, not only wool, but someone who takes the hair or tziponim of nails with biyada, with his fingers, he takes it off. Abishina with his nails, with his teeth. Potter, he's potter in in all these cases because he didn't do it the normal way.
But you know you're not.
Aval asur midivrei soifim.
We know that you're not allowed to buy it in Shabbos.
Aval asur midivrei soifim. Asur midrabanan, little biyad, to take with your hands. Hafilu acherim. Even if you're going to do this on other people's hands, it's asur. Af al pi shein yochel amin yadav. You know the sefer? Little yaf b'li kila chayim. Even though it's difficult to go and take your fingers, take off someone's nails, another person's nails, more difficult than your own.
Thank you.
So you think it's mamish not the derech, it's still going to be asa midrabanan. So l'maisa, any time you're doing it with your hands, the beard, the hair, nails, or teeth, it's asa midrabanan.
It's not the normal way. Not the normal.
It's not the normal way. We're supposed to use the keli, therefore it's not.
Okay.
Therefore it's midrabanan. If you would use a keli, it'd be asa midraisa.
Many people are biting the nails all the time.
That's an issue.
They never use the nail clipper.
It's easier.
True. No, it's not such a. There's 3 to 9. You're allowed to break off a nail that's already almost off. You're allowed to take it off. So biting the nails couldn't be all that bad.
It's also midrabanan.
It's also straight up also the Darabana.
We'll talk in a minute about this case that you're mentioning. Avum chatcham bekeli. If someone cut them with a keli, chayev. You're chayev.
A keli.
With a scissor. With a scissor or the utensil that's normally shearing wool or cutting. Use the machine, whatever you do. Afilo abei sayres bavad. Even if he cut just 2 hairs. Val achas potter va'asam ha'torah k'shar chatzishir. One cut 1 hair. It's aser b'yinat chayev. Meaning like this. There are things in the Torah which are aser min haTorah, but you're not chayev. Chayev means that if you did it b'shoigeg, you would have to bring a carbon chatas. If you did it on purpose, you'd be chayev skil. However, there are things in the Torah that are aser min haTorah. However, you're not chayev. Normally, we say you're potter min haTorah means it's only aser midrabanan. However, there are times when something could be potter from you're not chayav, it's still aser min haTorah. When? For example, of another situation, Torah says you're not allowed to eat an avela, to eat an animal which is not kosher animal. If someone went and ate a kazayis, a size of an olive, which is considered the minimum amount of what's considered an eating, an achila, of an avela, so he's chayav malchus. He receives malchus if he was done it on purpose and he was warned. Now, if he did it b'shoigig, you bring a chatas. What happens if he only ate half? He only ate a quarter of an avela. He ate a piece of an avela. He didn't eat the whole thing. So the halacha is a machlekes and chazal, machlekes and shas, and the halacha is that it's aser chatzi shir aser min haTorah. The Torah forbids us min haTorah to partake even of any part of something which is aser. When there's a certain shear to it, even part of it is aser min haTorah. However, you're not chayiv unless you had the full kozais. The same thing here. Min haTorah, when are you considered gozez? Is only when you shear off 2 hairs or 2 pieces of wool. However, if you only did 1, it's also aser min haTorah. But it's not chayiv because it's chatzi shir. By the way, when it comes to hitzah carrying, hitzah is comprised of an akira and a hanocha. Right? Lifting and putting it down. If one only did 1 and not the other, it's only aser midrabanan. The shayla is, why is it not considered chatzi shir aser min haTorah? The answer is pashut. When do we say chatzi shir is aser min haTorah? Is when you have the quality of the iser, just you don't have the amount, the shear. When it comes to nevela, the little piece of nevela is the same as the big piece of nevela, just you didn't have the amount, the kazayis. When it comes to hitzah, if you only did an akira, you only did a hanacha, you didn't do the malacha. You did half the malacha. No, you didn't do the malacha of hitzah because you didn't do hitzah. Hitzah is an akira and hanacha together. So you're missing it. So by doing 1, it's not aser min haTorah, it's only aser midrabanan. It's not considered chatzi shir. A piece of an avela, whether it's a small piece, a mashu, whether it's a kazayis, it's an avela. It's the same quality, it's the same material. But the hitzah, akira and hanacha, each one for itself does not constitute. It's a part of the malacha, but it's not chatzi shir of the malacha. Chatzi shir is only when you have the complete iser. Alamai, you're only missing the size, the measurement. When someone's only in a kir malacha, he's missing half of the malacha. It's not pshat, he's missing the size of the malacha. He's missing. For example, what by Hatzah is that there are, by Hatzah, every single item that you carry has different shiurim. What you would be chayiv for. For an achila, of such an item, it's this amount. For that amount, different amounts. If you would carry half of that amount, or a quarter of that amount, some of that, doing an akira v'anacha, then you would be aser min haTorah for chatzi shir. So here we have a case where,
So the Kira alone is an Arbanan then?
yeah, Kirlon is the Darabanan. So over here we say Achas Potra Shaychas Ishir. However, we do have one case where if you pull out a white here,
Oh.
so you could be Chayim and Atar even for one here.
Mamish min HaTorah.
Discrimination.
Malaket Levenis,
Even if he does it with his hand.
It's not boring.
Mitoich Shchoides, could be better also.
Whatever it
Yeah.
is, it's definitely more than Torah.
But over here, if someone takes out white hairs from black hairs, Shaloi Near Zakin does not want to look old. Hafilu Ba'achas, and even one hair is considered chashiv, because it's that one hair you want to get rid of.
Yeah, yeah.
So that one hair has a chashivas to it,
Right.
so you don't need two.
Right.
Even on one itself, you can be chayiv.
Yeah.
Then he adds on to say, "V'davar zeh hafilu b'chol aser." Such a thing is not only aser on Shabbos. You're not allowed to do this during the week.
Wow.
Mishum yilbash gever simlas isha. A man should not wear clothing and act like a woman. Shetargumai Targum Onkelos explains that pasuk le'istakin gever b'tikune itza. That the man should not wear jewelry and garments that a woman wears. And this would include doing such an act. It's not clear if it's awesome and Torah over here, or but on Shabbos you're chayim and Torah for one. It's a Gozez. During the week it's also awesome. It's It's not clear if the issue of the Yobash Gavar is Isma Torah. The question whether this falls into the category of Torah, I have to look into it. It doesn't say clearly.
But it doesn't. He doesn't need a tool. He can do it with his hands. It's also not Torah.
L'chora. Not sure. I'm not sure. It's a good question.
Or maybe over two.
I'm not sure.
No, because that's the normal way to do it, to pull it out with the hand.
When it's only 1 kilo.
Or
I'm not
maybe-
sure.
Maybe,
maybe
maybe
two.
with a tweezer or whatever. That's a good question.
Tweezers a kli. So I'm not sure.
You
Might only be with a keli.
Can be
L'chora it's only with a keli.
Oh yeah.
Can be the over two areas, one of Teresh and one of Loel Peshgeva.
Yeah, of course these are both. Of
Yeah. It could be every both.
course these are both.
Yeah.
By
both issues.
taking one white air.
The chiddush is that Goyz is normally only chai for Beis Cyrus.
And here is
one.
Because Beis Cyrus, what is Beis? The numbers of the amount of a shiur have to do with chashivas. What's considered cutting? Cutting one here is not considered cutting. Two is already it's a minimum amount to be called a cutting. So when you cut it, when you want to take out one because the white here, so you only want to take out one. That's what it's about. So you don't need a shear of two.
For sure intended, yeah. The shear is full scale.
So l'maisa Rabbi say this is important to know when someone takes off, let's say, a band-aid on Shabbos.
A bandit.
You have to be careful
You're
to
tearing
take
hair.
it off slowly and not to take off here. And if he feels it's going to take off here, for sure, even though he doesn't have kavanah, it's a psik reisha. It's a psik reisha, even though it's the rabbanon, because not with the keli, it's aser.
How are you going to wash your hand?
So the ma'isa, what he could do is he could put a little oil there, or water, or something. Will come off more easier. It won't be psik reisha at least. As long as it's not for sure,
Not particularly.
or if you pull off slowly, it won't be a psik reisha.
Because psik means that there's absolutely no intention, but psik is the definition that it will have. So.
Yeah, if it's going to happen for sure, it's aser. Even if it's a issa
How
d'rabbanan.
do you know if it's happening for sure or not?
Well,
You think it's
if you rip it off like that,
The Mishnah gives in Beya, the Mishnah gives
it
example
depends.
that
Some of
you
the
grab a
band-aids
chair.
now they make them a little lighter. They used to make them more stickier. It depends. It depends.
a little oil will do it.
Yeah. By the way, another thing, Streimlach. Streimlach are made out of
Mean,
people that wear mink coats. I don't know, but the people that wear fur coats, are they still, the hair is still on the original hide or no?
It's the skin of the
what is
animal.
it?
Is the skin of the animal there?
Yep.
So if the hairs are still on the skin of the animal,
But they have a glue.
you cut it off,
You're chayav.
you're chayiv goyzes. If you cut it with a scissor on Shabbos,
You don't want to cut
you
it.
pluck it out with your
You don't want to
finger.
cut it. It's so expensive.
Right, but if you cut it out, let's say something's dirty there, you cut it off, cut out with your finger, it's also midrabanan. Because goyzes, even from a oyer mufshat, even the skin once it's off the
There.
animal, you
You're
chayiv. And the same thing as a streimel, let's say. The streimel, if it's on the original skin, the original hide, and they're just putting it on top of something else, then the same thing. Plucking it out is asa midrabanan because it's Gozez. But a sheitel, by the way, is different. The sheitel, first of all, a lot of them are synthetic, so that's not b'chol Gozez. Gozez is only by hair, by wool, things that grow from the skin.
A lot of human.
The ones that human hair, then that's from the scalp, right? People cut their hair.
It's made by
People
the
cut their hair. They push and take every single hair
one by one to put it in
one by one. It's unbelievable how they do it, but
Wow.
When you cut with scissor,
so someone cutting off, even with a scissor, on
From a
Shabbos from a sheitel,
It's not
it's not
chayim
Gozez. No, it's not chayim in Torah.
but
It's not Gozez.
It's
not in the
a
skin.
torosh min a torosh.
It's considered breaking a keli, something else to Rabbana maybe, but it's not an issue. Another thing you have to be worried about, Gozez, is combing and brushing hair on Shabbos.
a lot of hair come out.
When someone combs and brushes hair, one can only use a comb which is not going to.
This is good.
I don't know. It looks like
No,
does
that's
it
for the
take off hair?
At all. Yeah, it's for the hair.
Hair doesn't come off.
Not at all.
Is that your for hair? Is
Look
that
inside. Is there any hair there?
Nothing.
No hair.
I'm using it already a few months. See any hair?
You have to look closer. I see a lot of hair in there.
Oh, you see
Oh my
hair.
gosh.
It's white hair. You can see it.
That's for sure you're not allowed to.
Huh?
That's for sure you're not allowed to.
No, but you can use a comb that is wider.
Exactly. It has wider.
They have them.
It has wider teeth. The teeth
yeah.
are a little more spread apart, and also you should use one specifically for Shabbos. So over the choil, it should be specifically for Shabbos. L'maisa, that's an issue. So women therefore are careful on Shabbos when it comes to the hair that they don't brush their hair on Shabbos. The sheitel, again, they're not allowed to do it also on the sheitel, but the sheitel will be an issue not of Gozez. Be an issue of if it for sure pulls out here. If it's a situation that it pulls out here, then it will be an issue of breaking a keli. But it's not. That's not choitech.
By how you use scissor? Scissor is not muktzah in Shabbos? So you're making double avera.
Sure,
Using the
it's
scissor.
muktzah. We're saying, but if you did it, so this is muktzah. We're talking about. In most cases, it's not shayches for some. If someone would use a brush that pulls out here, that's a keli, right? And you pull out two hairs, imam is chayiv. Right? Imam is chayiv. A man or a woman takes a comb or brush that pulls out here, the teeth are very close together, and you know it's going to pull out here. Maybe the person's hair is tangled. You know the hair is tangled. It's going to come out, or the beard, whatever they're doing. So imam should be chayiv in a Torah because it's the utensil. It's not muksa, right? Not necessarily it's a muksa. So those are the issues that come up with Gozez.
And Shabbos is never for bringing go like this one. That's it. Never go like this.
You know, like what?
Go like this.
They say a story of the Alter Rebbe that he one time put his hand inside his beard on Shabbos and he didn't want to take it out. He put his fingers into his beard. He didn't want to remove it because of chash that he'd pull out here. So the whole Shabbos, the rest of Shabbos, he kept his hand there. That's obviously a tzaddik, because it's not a psikresha, it's going to come out and everything. He was very machmir.
Some people when they go to the mikveh, they don't put the towel on the beard. They skin.
That's another issue. That's an issue with
That's a
schita.
Schita.
So you're not right. You have to be careful when you.
That's the main problem of going to the mikvah on Shabbos.
They don't use the towel on the
You're not supposed to dry your hair. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. So therefore, if you do want to use the towel on your hair on your beard, do very lightly.
Then you smell like clothing.
Very
Spoke
lightly.
about it last time.
Yeah, because then it is the issue. It is the issue of schita. If you do it lightly, then you're not pushing the hair, but you have to be careful with it. B'chlal, Chassidim years back would go with the Arizal held that you should not wash dry yourself after the mikveh.
Yeah.
So a Meleches
Not too dry?
No.
A Meleches Chassidim did not dry themselves
Just
in the
get
mikveh.
dressed. That's it.
Know to take off the the water.
You shouldn't take the water.
Right, but it says in other svarim that's the problem of not
It's not schito or something else.
drying your feet. So the Rebbe one time spoke, even if you're noyig, to dry your feet.
Please.
Okay. You don't have too many people today that do this. Siv Beis. One of the big issues that comes up with Gozez on Shabbos with a scissor, you were asking how would it come up. One of the big times it will come up with a scissor is a woman, the minig is that women cut their nails before they go to the mikveh. What happens if a woman on Friday forgot? And now comes Friday night and she has to go to the mikveh and she forgot to cut her nails. What do we do now? Cutting nails is an issue of Gozez, so she can't cut it. She can't cut it with a keli, she can't take it off with her nails or finger, that's an asim d'Rabbanan. So what's our options here? So we have a machlokes here. One shita holds that we can have a goy do it. Have a goy cut the nails. Have the shiksa in the mikveh. Like to have a lady, a cleaning lady there or something. Whatever it is, you have a goyish lady cut off the nails and Shabbos. What's the heter? L'chora, you're asking the goy to do an isim d'oraisa. You're not allowed to tell a goy to have a goy do for you in Shabbos an isim d'Torah unless it pertains to heat, heating and the
Air condition.
So, Lamaisa, over here, you're asking the guy to do an Issa Deraisa. In a Chanami is a Tzarech Mitzvah because the minig is to cut the nails. So L'chora it's a mitzvah, it's an inyan to cut the nails, so she should be able to go to the mikveh. It's at Chatzitza. However, the way how this Paisik deals with it, this Shita says that the halacha is by all, there is a machlekes tanoim by all malachas and Shabbos. When someone does the malacha, not for the purpose of the object itself, are you chayiv or not? It's called malacha she'eina tzricha legufa. Reb Shimon held it's pater, and Reb Yehuda held chayiv. Let me give an example. Let's say one of the malachas on Shabbos is lighting a fire, mavi. Another malach on Shabbos is mechabe, extinguishing the fire. But what happens when you extinguish a fire normally? You're not extinguishing it for the... If you extinguish it because you want to have coals, you need the coals, that's why you extinguish it. You need the wood that's on fire, so you extinguish it. So that's called tzricha legufa. I need it. I need the actual object that the malach is being done with. I need the accomplishment of the fire burning. I need it to burn on this object. I want coals. I want charcoal. However, if I'm just extinguishing, because I don't want the fire to go further and to burn other things in the house, that's called, that's the common usage of it. It's called malacha she'ein tzricha legufa. You don't need it for the guf, the actuality of the object itself. You need it for something else. Machlokes tanoim, if you're chayiv, Yehuda says you're chayiv anyways. Reb Shimon says no, you're potter. The ikar halacha is that you're potter. Like Reb Shimon, the malacha she'netzricha legufa is potter. Min haTorah, also mit Rabbanan. The Rambam paskin like Reb Yehuda. So the Rambam is a chashav shita. He hold like Reb Yehuda. So in certain cases, the Shulchan Aruch says that Yireh Shamayim should be machmer. However, we hold the ikar halacha is like the Tosfos and other shitas paskin like Reb Shimon, malacha she'ein tzricha legufa potter. So in this case, when you're cutting nails, someone cuts nails on Shabbos, even if he took out our nails on Shabbos and cut his nails, he's not going to be chayiv in Torah. You know why? He didn't need the nails. You don't need the nails. Since you don't need the nails, so really it's very difficult to be chayiv in Torah. Now,
but you need.
Well, we'll see in a minute. It's not so pashut.
You need nails to be cut. So,
that's not. You don't need the actual nails. According to this shita, we're going to see in a minute at the second shita. But according to this shita, by Gozez, if you don't need the nails or the hair that you're cutting off,
that's
right? Malacha she'ein tzricha legufa. So your potter min haTorah asim d'Rabbanan. So therefore, asking a lady to cut a shiksa, to cut the lady's hands, fingernails, is okay, because you're asking her to do an Issa Midrabanan, and it's a Tzarech Mitzvah. So let's take a look inside. Beis, Ein HaGoiz is V'achoit Tzipanayim V'kli Chayov. You're not Chayov, Elam Kain Tzarech L'tzami. You need the wall, let's say, or the here, or the Tzipanayim, the nail, Shechata V'chikah. Avam Ein Tzarechim, you don't need them. Harizu Malacha She'ein Etzricha L'Gufa. It's considered a Malacha that you don't need for the Guf itself, of the Malacha. Allah Ficha, therefore, from this comes out the halacha that Isha Shashakam Erev Shabbos. Lita Tzipernayim, she forgot Erev Shabbos, page Tafresh Non Aleph, the last line. Or Shabbos Ulel Tfilah, on Shabbos it's the night of her Tfilah. Yesh, there is an opinion, Mishamat Loimar, that allows her to tell the Nachris, the Goita, with the Chatzal to cut it for her. Why? Shekol Davash in Asim Devisayfim, anything which is Asim Midrabanan, Motelasai say the Nachri Tzarech Mitzvah. You're allowed to have a guy do it for you for Tzarech Mitzvah. That's the first opinion. So according to this is what the option you should take. However, there's a second opinion, and we'll speak about it outside, and we'll look inside. There's a sheet of another one of the Rishonim, the Rivash. Yitzchak by Sheshes. The Rivash held that Gozez is different than other malachas in the Torah. The Eina Chanami, we pass like a Shimon, the malacha shein yitzchak gufa pater. When it comes to Gozez, it's very different. Gozez, the way it was actually done in the Mishkan itself, was in a manner of ein yitzchak gufa. What was Gozez done in the Mishkan? They sheared off the wool, or the hair, off the tachash, and off the rams in order that their skin should be smooth to use for the Mishkan. So did they need the hair? Did they need the wool? They didn't need the hair of the wool. They needed that the skin should be clean. Yeah. So it comes out, he says that Rivasha, Gavaldike Shita, Gavaldike Mahalach, he tainas Ein Chanami by all other Malamitas Malachas in the Torah. Malacha Shenitzich Gufas Pata like Reb Shimon. When it comes to Gozez, that is the way it was done in the Mishkan. So in the Mishkan itself it was done. The Av Malacha in the Mishkan itself was done in a form of Ein Yitzchak L'Gufa. So how could I say that's a reason to be Pater? That is actually the way it was done in the Mishkan. Maybe if you're Tzricha L'Gufa, you should say it's Pater.
The thing is that you're not allowed to use.
So L'maisa Machloik is V'shaynim. So the Rivash holds that Gozez is an exception to the rule, that even if you don't need to hear the nails, it's still Chayiv. And like this, it's a problem to tell the lady to cut, the Goyish lady to cut the lady's hands, and Nachrish to cut the lady's fingers, nails on Shabbos. Because you're asking her to do an Issa Minat Torah. According to the first Shita, it's a Malacha Sheitzich L'Gufa, it's Pater Aval Asa Midrabanan, you're allowed to tell them to do Issa D'Rabanan in the Tzarech Mitzvah. It's called Shvos, the Shvos, the Makkah Mitzvah. Telling a guy to do something in Shabbos is one Shvos, one D'Rabanan. You're telling him to cut nails, which is only Asa Midrabanan, because you don't need the nails. So Shvos the Shvos, but Makkah Tzarech Mitzvah, the lady should be able to go to the mikveh. She should be able to. However, according to the second sheet of the Rivash says, no. You're asking her to do a malacha minat Torah. Let's take a look inside. The third line on page Taf Reish Nun Beis. Taf Reish Nun Beis. Third line.
I think by the Mishkan, when they cut the air, you can't use it for anything else. Even though you don't use it, you don't need it, but it's a became a
could be hektish, maybe, yeah. I'm not sure, but could be, yeah. However, others say that no, even though you don't need to hear the wool of the nails, whatever it might be, you're chayav. Let's skip the parentheses. Shagam b'mishkan hayu goyzin oilis hatchashim. Because even the Mishkan, they would shear the skins of the Tachash, even though they don't need the hair. So therefore, this is the way it was done in the Mishkan. You're going to tell me I'm not chayav for doing it the exact way it was done in the Mishkan? And therefore, based on this sheet, this says the Alter Rebbe, the Rivash himself didn't speak about the case about Nida. The Alter Rebbe is saying, based on this sheet is going to come out, the ein lahanter loy milanachas uchatzlan. You're now allowed to be matter to tell a shiksa to cut the nails of a lady who forgot. Shazel shvus gomer. It's mamash a real shvus. You're telling him to do an isser. You're just amil onachri is a shvus gomer, and it's not Shvus Shvus. You're not allowed to do an Isser Minat Torah, have a guy do for you Asa Minat Torah, Isser Minat Torah, even if it's Tzarech Mitzvah, or if it's two D'Rabbanan.
Like bringing a knife on Moed on Shabbos.
Can you pass the pretzels?
Like telling the goy to bring the knife.
She should say to her, Litlam biyad, that she should, the goya should take it with her hand.
What?
The goya should take it with her hand.
Because it's not the derech.
Not the derech. Oy b'shinayim. The guy could bite. The guy could bite off. The guy could bite off her nails.
She would never finish biting.
Shazel shvus the shvus.
To take off the nails with her hand, like to try to pinch it off.
Let's say she forgot one nail. It's practically speaking, she was probably didn't forget her own nails. By the toenails are much easier pi halacha to deal with, but the fingernails.
Mitzad Shabbos, Mitzad
Nida. Mitzad Nida is more easier to be matter to go to the mikveh because women are not as makbid on their toenails as they are on the fingernails, which are more seen and more so. So Lamaisa, cutting. So according to the Rivash, you have no other eitzah that either the shiksa has to do with shalai kederech. Once you do a shalai kederech, then it's shvus to shvus and mitzvah. Lamaisa, obviously, it's not a practical solution, right? No lady's going to allow some shiksa to cut off her nails with her fingers or with her nail, with her teeth.
We don't pass them like this.
It's not clear.
But this is not.
It's not clear that this sheet is not the halacha.
Oh, it's not clear from here?
The Rivash himself never discussed the situation either. The Shaila is, the Alter Rebbe himself is applying, this is based on other paiskim, earlier paiskim, but he's applying this machlokes about Gozez, whether or not Meleches Gozez potter to this specific story over here. Not the Alter Rebbe is not the first one who applied it. The Magen Avraham did it, and other paiskim.
What happened if they have no goya in the mikveh?
So that's that. So then you have
no problem.
So I'll tell you the emphasis. I'll tell you, there's a third shita. The third shita is not brought here in
not to go to mikveh is like non-option.
1 minute.
You don't
1 minute.
discuss that.
1 minute. There's a third opinion. Mm-hmm. The third opinion is not brought here because it doesn't pertain to. It doesn't. The third opinion that Alter Rebbe does not bring is the shita of the Taz. The Taz holds that Heinechanami, the minhag of women is to cut their nails before they go to the mikveh. And it's an important thing. Mm-hmm. However, he holds that it's not so important. It's not important enough that you're allowed to ask a goita to do it for you on Shabbos. So therefore, what should you do? Clean it well. Clean behind the nails well.
Not chatzitza?
So like this. The basic idea, the machlokes here is like this. There's a machlokes shach and taz. Let's put aside the Rivash for a minute. When we just read the Rivash who holds it's Isam and Torah of Gozez. There's a machlokes and Hilchas Nida, and Yerdeya in the Shach and Taz, how important it is for women to cut their nails before they go to the mikveh. Mm-hmm. We know it's a clear din in the Ramah and Shulchan Aruch that women have a minhag to cut their nails before they go to the mikveh. Now, the question is how important it is cutting the nails. Everyone holds it's important, but to what extent? And what's the basis why we're cutting it? And that will tell us the importance. According to the Taz, he understands the reason why women were cutting nails, the minhag was that women cut the nails, was because there's dirt behind nails a lot of times, accumulation of dirt. So because women were not necessarily always careful to clean it properly, not every woman was. So the minhag became just to cut it off, cut it below the skin, cut it a little lower than the skin. Anything that's underneath over there is already not ma'akiv, it's not a chatzitza, even if there's dirt there. So you cut it off like that. Therefore, you don't have to worry about cleaning out. You cut it and finished. So the minhag became to be out of a concern because there might be shmutz by accident, whatever is left behind the nail, and they become an issue chatzitza. Therefore, the minhag became like kach v'kach. That's the way how the Taz understands it. So therefore, he says, in a situation like this, where it's Shabbos, she forgot to cut one nail, all the nails, she forgot to cut the nails. The Taz says two things. Number one, Einechanami, the minhag is to cut the nails, but let's remember, it's not really me'ikr hadin. The ikr halacha is to clean it well. That's the ikr halacha. The ikr halacha is mainly to clean it well, and the whole point why they cut the nails is just a safeguard to not having issues of chatzitza. So reality is, it's not really such a tzairich cutting the nails. It's a minig, it's an important thing, it's an important takana, but if a woman forgot, we're not going to allow you to go and tell a goy to cut the nails, even if it's only an asim isma derabbanan. The Taz also goes with the shita that the Meleches Gozez pater also by Gozez, not like the chudashtik shita of the Rivash. So it's derabbanan, but remember, you're not want to ask a goy to do even an isma derabbanan on Shabbos for you, unless it's a tzarich mitzvah or tzarich chayli, tzarich hefsi. You have to have a tzarich. That's the rule. So the shaila is, the Taz says it's not a tzarich mitzvah. The nail's not really a chatzitza. Let her just clean it well and go to the mikveh. Let her clean it well and go to the mikveh. It's not a real tzarich mitzvah. The reality of the whole reason why we cut nails is just in order to ensure there's no schmutz behind it. She forgot, she didn't. You want to now go be matter to be mekayim that minig, that we should allow a guy to do malacha for you, even is there a for you in Shabbos. Who gave you the heter? It's not a tzarich mitzvah. It's not enough of a mitzvah to warrant this. So therefore, what does the Taz suggest? Number 2, it says clean it well and go to the mikveh. So because he holds this shita that he's mekel and hilchas nida.
So in Hilchot Shabbos he said don't cut it.
He said don't cut it in Hilchos Shabbos. He's machmer in Hilchos Shabbos. He's mekel in Hilchos nida, and therefore he's machmer in Hilchos Shabbos that you're not allowed to ask the guy to cut it because not enough of a mitzvah. Therefore, clean it well right now and go to the mikveh. That's a Taz sheet. And Alter never even brought it. His next opinion is the Shach, which was the first opinion here. The Shach says no. It's in Hilchos Nida, he says it's a very important thing to cut the nails. The reason why the Ramah says to cut the nails is not because of the schmutz, like you said, Taz. The reason why they need to cut the nails is because the actual long nail is itself a chatzitza. The nail itself, even it's the cleanest nail around, it's that extra piece of nail that is usually cut. That itself is the chatzitza, is what's blocking the water from getting to the other part of the nail. It's the extra piece of the nail, which is the chatzitza.
So he doesn't care.
So a yois came, it's not going to help cleaning it.
The women don't usually care.
And therefore, he holds it's a serious issue. Because the Shach holds a serious issue, therefore, because he's machmer in Hilchas Nida, he's mekel in Hilchas Shabbos that you're allowed to have a guy do it. Because when you're telling the guy to do it, it's shvus to shvus and it's a tzarich mitzvah. He holds the mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. Hey, Yoy said he's machmer nida, that is a real serious issue. So therefore, and you're not allowed to go to the mikveh if you don't clean it. It's also to go to the mikveh, not like the Taz. So you clean it well, you go to the mikveh. He said, no, you're not allowed to go to the mikveh because it's the chatzitza, the actual extra nail. Therefore, he allows you to go and tell the guy. That's the second shita. Though the Taz and the Shach both have one thing in common. They hold that when you cut the nails, it's considered a malacha she'eino tzricha legufa, which you pass like Reb Shimon, the Tana Reb Shimon, that's pater. It's only also midrabanan. So therefore, the Shach holds it's a shvus and makom mitzvah because it's a mitzvah according to him. According to the Taz, you're right, it's a shvus, but it's not a tzarich mitzvah. Therefore, clean it well and go into the mikveh. The Shach says no, you can't get away with it. You have to have the shiksa cutting. You have to, and you're allowed to. Comes along the Rivash, one of the Rishonim, and he has a whole other look. He says we have another issue over here. I don't like not the Taz. We have another issue. It's not a malacha shetzricha. It's not a, even though it's a malacha she'en tzricha legufa, you're chayav by Gozez, because that was the way the malacha was done in the Mishkan. Based on the Rivash, you have no eitzah. The eitzah, you don't have any eitzah. So you're going to have the Goya cut it for you.
In a shinoi, not even
with a shinoi, which is very uncomfortable. What do we do in the mikvahs themselves? What's the Rabbanan Paskin? It's a big machlokes. It seems from the Mishabrura over here that the Mishabrura holds that l'chatchila do it with a keli if you can't do it with the. Basically, what it goes like this. It goes in this order. The Poskim say l'chatchila try to do it with the hands and the nails, but that's not shaykh really. It's not practical. If not, you could do it with the keli. Have a guy do it, or makel like the shach. And if there's no one there to do the keli, then the Mishabura says you can rely on the taz, which is not brought in Shulchan Aruch here. That if the nail's totally clean, you can go into the mikveh. Not everyone is makel like the taz, so.
Well, it's not even brought down.
It's not brought down. No, it's not brought down here. In Mida, it's discussed a lot. I mean, here it's not brought down. I think that the Alter Rebbe doesn't bring it, means he doesn't hold of it. It's my personal opinion, but. L'maisa is Rabban Arav in each of these situations has to make the psak, and he has to also realize the situation, because you have makom lahakol, and
going to the mikveh is not negotiable.
Well, there are poskim say that they won't allow with a keli. No, there are poskim that say Shevet HaLevi. There were big poskim that said you can only do it with hands or with nails. A goya.
A goya also.
No, a goya.
Right, the goya has to.
With the shina, you can cut it.
The point of the matter is like this: are we going to allow her to go without cutting it? That's the real shaila. Without cutting it at all.
Not, if you don't hold like the taz, it's a problem.
If you don't hold like the taz, exactly. So the Shevet Levi doesn't hold. He says like this: regular normal situations, the lady should either go with the rivash here, little biyad b'shenayim. He doesn't pass like the shach. He says, "L'chatchila, you're not allowed to have a goy do it for you.
She can't.
A goy can't do the keli because we pass like the rivash. He holds the ikras like the rivash, and therefore the shiksa has to do with her fingernails or her teeth, right? The shiksa has to bite off or cut with her nails, the Yiddish woman's nails, and if not, he says, then you got to. He's not ready to matter like the shach to have a lady cut with a scissors. And like the Taz is not either willing to make it. So Lamaisi tells you have to go. You should push it on Matzah Shabbos. She doesn't want to do it. However, he says that if certain situations, a Meirah has to know that there is a sheet of the Taz, and that a woman could clean it and could go in. So a woman, you have to know the matzah. A Rav has to make it. There's a lot more details to it. You know, you also have to know. Let's say a lady was negligent. She came with all her nails. What does that mean? You came with all your nails. Well, you don't know you have to cut your nails. You know, she forgot one nail was a mistake. The Rav has to see the situation, see the matziv, that there could be a michshol, you're dealing with someone Mekurev, a very big Shemayim, a Chassidish person. I wonder what the mikveh ladies also have to know about this, because a lot of times the woman will only realize this when she's already in the mikveh, and there's no way of calling the Rav on Shabbos. So what are you going to do? You're not going to go to Rav. The mikveh ladies obviously have certain procedures in every mikveh.
She's familiar with the situation.
They're set up with these situations. Obviously, any seasoned mikveh lady, they have a certain procedure, who they follow. Whichever Rav that mikveh is following, that's the system they're going to follow. If they notice in the house before, so then the husband could go and ask the Rav what the din is. But it's Nishazei Pashat. But it's all based on Gozez. I'm just bringing out that Gozez comes up. The issue of Gozez is not shearing wool. It's like some far thing. It's something that can come up, and it's combing here. They're going to the mikveh. There's different issues that come up.
What's the difference between Gozez and Gozem?
No connection.
No connection.
What about nail against nail? Sometimes people.
Well, Gabi, you had a shaila.
Nail
It's
against
your shaila.
Nails falling off. There's a whole thing.
Nail against nail is also an issue. With the Rabbanan. Now, you had a shaila. If what happens, someone has a nail which is already partly off.
It's 3 to 9.
What can they do? So we're gonna take a look. We'll take a look, and then we'll go back to finish off the Inyan Gozez here. It's a din in Siman Shin Chav Ches. Find the din. We'll find it in a minute. Okay, I'll tell you what page. Page Taf Reish Vav. Page Taf Reish Vav. Let's learn this sif. Very important sif. It's connected to our simon. It's a whole sif about Gozez. That is over here. See, top of page Taf Reish Vav. Tzipoiren Shapirsha. If you had a nail which is coming off. V'tzitzin shehein kiminitzuiz dake shepirshim ha'oyer ha'etzba. So it's around one's nail, the skin, sometimes pieces come off, right? So what happens if they partially came off? They're hanging. What is the halacha on Shabbos about removing them? In Pirshu Ruban, if the majority of the nail or the piece of skin is off, Kivin Shim Kroivim Lihnatik, since they are very close to being coming off, Ein Behem Shem Gozez Men HaTorah. Filu Kishachoitim Bekli, Sha'asim Divisayim. Even if one cuts it with a nail scissor, the derech to do it, Hayois is rive off.
It's like if it's on.
Rive off, it will be only on Nisim D'Rabbanan. Avalahasa biyad she'ein zuderek geziza muter afilu chatchila im hey mitzayris oisei. If one removes it one's finger, you're allowed to remove it since it's awesome D'Rabbanan. Muter afilu chatchila mitzayris oisei. If it's tsar, you're allowed to take it off with your fingers. So it means it's like a shvus to shvus, meaning one you're taking off with your own fingers. You're not doing with a scissor.
It's talush already.
It's one derabanan. Number two, it's majority off. It's only considered, even if you would have done it with a keli, it would have been derabanan. So now I have shvus to shvus, two derabanans. And since the tsar is bothering you, it's hurting you, it's bothering you, this piece of skin or the piece of nail, so then it's mutter l'chatchila to pull them off. Such a case. V'hu shepirshu klape maila.
Not from the bottom of the nails.
V'hu shepirshu klape maila sheschil lifresh l'tzad hatzipoidem. This is only when it starts to separate towards the direction of the nail. That when the Gemara said klape maila, it meant upwards, meant towards the body, but like kapitza, not towards the nail. One needs to be concerned for both pirushim. Learned this a long time ago, so I don't remember the exact shot over here. So machloik is, what does it mean klape maila? And he said we have to be concerned to both.
Where on the nail is it broke? In the sides or in the center?
No, it's halfway sheared off.
The direction when
Klape mala. This is klape mala.
Maybe the
On
middle.
the sides is klape mata.
Oh,
Sometimes you have like small things coming from the side,
so that's
and you
klape.
just want to take it out. So klape mata.
Oh. That's what you say.
However, if the nail did not come off the majority, when removed in one's finger, it's pater aval aser. It's a issa d'rabanan. Chatzim b'kli, you cut it with a scissor, with another appropriate utensil. Nail clipper chay mishum goizes. Then you chay mishum goizes. V'af lo mishum lachash tzich gufa pater. Even according to the opinions that hold of lachash tzich gufa pater, those that follow the Toysfus and other she's that follow like Rav Shimon and lachash tzich gufa pater. However, yesh oimrim sheba goizes. Some say that by goizes chayiv l'dvihaku you're chayiv according to all opinions. Like we're going to explain in Shemem, which we learned already, that the sheet of the Rivash, that even to malach shen tzich l'gufa, you're chayiv by goizes. That's only when it's loy pirsha ruban. It's pirsha ruban, it would be okay. So that's klape what you asked. So there is a few conditions. So it's not so pashut. Let's learn one more din in Simon Shemem. We'll go to Ma'ariv. Siv Gimel. Okay, we're a little bit lower. We're in the middle of actually the Sif over here. Back to Taf Reish Nun Beis.
Rashi.
Page Taf Reish Nun Beis. We're middle of the paragraph V'af Shehi. It's about 10 lines from the top. V'af Shehi Matatz Beis Ela. When you're asking when the guy is cutting the nails, so the woman is l'chora helping out the guy because she's moving her nails, moving and positioning her nails. Is there something also with that? She's being Messiah for the malacha. He says, "Af she mata it's Messiah Messiah, she's helping tzas. Aim bekakum, it's not an issue. She Messiah aim mamish.
There's no
In Messiah, the halacha is that someone who helps out, he's not doing the malacha, is considered aim mamish. It's not an issue." In the parenthesis, he explains a little bit more. Mutter gamer minat Torah, and it's really mutter minat Torah. There's an awesome midrabanan of being Messiah. Half midibri seifrim, and also the say in Isra l'Sayeh la'ois malacha gemura. Il davar ha'asm shem shul shel eva makam mitzvah. Only when is being Messiah on us istirabanan, you're trying to do something which is a Isra minat Torah, or a derabanan which is shleibim kai mitzvah. But here in this case, where it's cutting the nails for the tzarech tefillah, makam mitzvah legazo al siyua k'maisha legazo al amil anachri. It's a makam mitzvah, just like you're allowed to tell a guy to do the issue, the isser. So too, I'm allowed to help by her putting the fingers there. It's sort of like just like you're allowed to tell the guy. You're allowed to tell the guy to cut the nails. And according to the first opinion with a keli, according to the second opinion, the rivash would come out and you're only allowed to tell her to do with her hands. Shinui. So same way you're allowed to tell the guy to go do it. That's sort of like aiding it, right? I told the person. You're also allowed to move your fingers in the direction of it being done. Yois, it's for tzarech mitzvah.
That helps with the tzarech mitzvah.
Hey, says if you're allowed to have the guy do it for you, you're also allowed to help the guy do it by positioning your fingers properly because you did it beheter. You're doing it beheter. What gave you the right to ask the guy to do? That's the biggest siyua you could do is asking the guy to do. The guy wouldn't have done it without you asking. You're getting the guy to do malach. It's still it's mutter. Same thing over here. So you're allowed to also position your fingers appropriately. He's not doing any. She's not doing anything. Yeah. If you actually do something by yourself, it's also, when we say shvus to shvus b'makam mitzvah is aser, it's only Ayidei Goy, not through the Yisrael himself. Siv Gimel. Also, lachte ki abelas migufoi, bein biyad, bein bekli, bein lebel achedim. Just like here is an issue, a growth on the body, a wart or something like that is also an issue. Ben yabelas lecha, whether it's a moist one, ben yavesha, whether it's dry, it's also to take it off on Shabbos.
What is that, a wart?
It's also an issue of Gozez, yeah. V'mchatach yabelas lecha, if it was a moist yabelas wart, which means it's still getting attached to the skin, getting sustenance from the skin, Chai mishum Gozez if you do it with a keli, because you're a Gozez. However, again, Alter Rebbe clearly mentions again, you're only going to be Chai minat Torah only according to the sheet of the Rivash that Gozez is Chai even if you don't not in Ein Tzricha L'Gufa. But according to the other opinions, only going to be Asim D'Rabbanan.
Are you allowed to squeeze your bellet to take all the schmutz from inside? You're not cutting it, you just squeeze.
That's another issue. Machas Morsa.
סוחט?
יש לכלוך בפנים והוא סוחט את זה. שיצא. הוא לא מוציא את זה.
I doubt you're allowed to do it. There's got to be, for sure, you're not allowed to. The question is, what is?
You're not allowed to cut it, but you have to take the
For
schmutz.
sure, you're not allowed to. I could bet on it. You're not allowed to. You just have to find the reason. It's probably not allowed for some reason or another.
Making a chabur on Shabbos, you're making a chabur by doing it because blood might come out.
Blood is a big problem on
It
Shabbos.
says so blood might come out when you do this. Taking out the schmutz, blood will come out. You're not allowed on Shabbos.
Don't think that you're allowed to do it. Squeeze it. Usually end up blood coming out at the end.
If you're fishing on Shabbos, whichever you do.
If you're fishing,
Yeah. Why are you not allowed to fish Shabbos?
Tzayid, no?
No.
Tzayid.
No.
Not Tzayid? Why is it not Tzayid?
It's shoichet.
Okay, the boy say it's not as I push it.
What?
Nothing
Squeeze a
is
wort?
If you want to squeeze it in order to remove the moisture, what's bothering you, it's bothering you. Not in order to try. The issue over here is basically a refuah issue.
Oh,
It's basically a problem doing refuah on Shabbos. You're not cutting it off, you're leaving it. So the shaila is the issue of refuah. You're not allowed to do refuah on someone who's not a tzorich.
It's not
It's not only it's not even a choyle sheyesh beisakon she'im beisakon. He's not the person. He's fine. You're a regular normal guy. You just have a morsa, a mapas morsa. You want to squeeze. It bothers you a little bit. It's not. You're not a choyle. There's no hatedrim for you. So the mice is there's no. If you're trying to make an opening in order to allow air to get inside, that you're not allowed to do. But if you want, because that's refuah. But if you squeeze out because it's bothering you, the sar. It's not because of refuah. You push it, squeeze out. You don't want it.
almost like
You want to squeeze out the liquid in there, the moisture. You're allowed to do it.
Oh,
If that's your kavanah.
I
So
apologize. That was wrong.
You were sure.
It's pretty short.
but if you're taking, I don't know, all the situation. I think this is the case that everyone would do it for. But if you're trying to squeeze it out, not only to get it out in the moisture now, but if you want it to stay open like this, in order you should always be able to take out the moisture. So you're making the opening, you're creating an opening in order. The issue over here is basically creating that opening over there. And to take it out, then it would, according to certain sheets, is usher, and you would only be able to do it through a goy in such a case. Better to do it through a goy.
Why? Because you're making the opening?
Pesach. It's to do with making an opening, and it's an inyan of refuah.
Shoshet is one of the
For Shabbos. Well, Lamaisa, just to remove the moisture itself, just to remove the moisture itself, is Emes Mutter.
What they used to shit.
You're right.
Well, it's called Shoshet.
Okay, let me get some items.